Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I have a gorgeous project to share with you guys that I'm really excited about. I created a stack of envelopes using a digital collection from Tailor Made Journals, and the digital collection is A Winter's Tale. And if you open up that description box, I will have a link to Lorna's Etsy store, Tailor Made Journals, where you can find this kit along with a lot of other beautiful kits that she sells. And I've created lots of stacks of letters or envelopes before in the past, and I will also link some of those projects down below if you guys are interested in checking them out. But when I saw Lorna's kit, Winter's Tale, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a stack of envelopes in a winter theme? And especially where I live currently, it's been really cold and it's been below zero. I mean, last week I think we had a day that was like minus 28. This morning it was, I believe my husband said it was like minus 8 or minus 10, I think, this morning. So it wasn't quite as bad. But this kit certainly reminds me of winter, and the colors are perfect for a winter kit. And so again, I created a stack of envelopes, and you can kind of check it out here. It's pretty chunky. And so a couple of the envelopes were envelopes that were actually included in her kit, and a couple of them I just created by adding digitals on top of like recycled envelopes, you know, that I get in the junk mail. So some of them are junk mail envelopes that I just covered with her beautiful digital papers. And so I'm just going to pull it apart. I kind of created a little bit of a flower just to put on the top with the little dangles on it. And I just created that. I folded up a piece of lace, and then I put the seam binding inside of it. So this moves freely wherever you want it once you tie it up. So I really like how that looks. And so here are all the envelopes I created. So in Lorna's kit, she did have 2 little coin envelopes. And what I chose to do is I did attach them onto another envelope. And I created a paper clip, a hidden paper clip, using some of her digitals, and I just added a little bit of lace to that. All of the digitals I did go ahead and add. I don't know if you look at it close, it might not sparkle a little bit, but I added Winka Stella to most of the papers, and that just adds a little bit of shine, which is really pretty. And so these 2 coin envelopes again came from her kit. And so I just decorated them up just a little bit. This one I did add the sentiment, A Winter's Tale, and in her kit she does have some like sentiments, winter sentiments, and then also like on the bottoms of some of the digital sheets it'll say her name, Tailor Made Journals, and then it'll also say A Winter's Tale. So I did cut out some of those pieces that said A Winter's Tale and used them on a couple of my pieces. And inside each envelope I did stick some sort of ephemera. I didn't really decorate any of the ephemera, just because I wanted to, the stack of envelopes was getting pretty chunky just with the envelopes being decorated. So I chose not to decorate most of the pieces that I added, but I did go ahead and like I would ink the edges, and I also did some sewing around the edges. So this was just actually a scrap piece of paper that I had left after I decorated some of the envelopes. And that's usually how I try and build some of my ephemera, is I just go through with what is left for all my scrap papers, and then I just try to make little journal cards or tags. And so again, that one looks similar to the previous one, and those just fit into the stack of envelopes. And so here is the next gorgeous one that I created, and this is a beautiful kit. I just love it with all the owls and the fox and the elk, and then there's also some rabbits in it too, I believe. So that's how I decorated that one. I also chose on most of them to do a little bit of decorating on the back side. So this one I just added a piece of snippet of some lace. And this one just has a couple pieces in it. I have a tag in here that I inked and sewed around, and also a little mini postcard. And the nice thing about this kit is there's a ton of little ephemera pieces, like little postcards and tags and stuff that you can use. So those are the first few. And then here's my next little envelope that I created. There's the front and the back. And again, I created another one of those hidden paper clips. And again, Lorna had some nice smaller sized images with her ephemera pieces. And so This one was one of it. And then this one, again, I used a scrap piece of paper, and then I fussy cut out one of her bunnies to put on the back side of this one. So that was the little paper clip that I decorated, again, with just some snippets from my stash. And I had attached a cute little tag on top of it. And again, I just decorated up the tag just a little bit. And there was the envelope again with some fringe lace, and then I added some lace on top, and then again some flat back pearls. And then on the back side I added the sentiment, the snowflakes fall from the soft gray skies, and then a little snippet of lace, and then I added a little embellishment, which is a little charm of a snowflake that I had left over from Christmas. And on the inside, again, I just added some ephemera pieces. There was some library cards in the ephemera part of the kit. And then also I created a little bit of a tag also. And again, everything is inked and sewed around for the inside pieces. Here is the next envelope that I created. I just love the fox. He's so handsome. And on this one I added the magic of winter, some more snippets, and then I added a little blue flower to that one and some flat back pearls in the corner. And this one again was same with the previous envelopes, are ones that I just cut out parts of the digital kit and I laid them on top of, like I said, junk mail envelopes. So it's a great way to recycle. And again, on the back side too, I did the same thing. This one I forgot to decorate the back, so I think I'm going to have to add a piece of lace on that one. So I'll finish that one. And this one I just added a little journal card and also a little tag on that one, just layering up bits and pieces of her paper collection on that one. So I had to leave that one to the side so I remember to add something to the back of that one. And here's the next envelope that I created. And this one again, I added some trim at the bottom, and it says, "Kindness is like snow. It beautifies everything that it covers." And the pretty little cluster up there. And the back side, again, I added some more trim, and this time I did some little gems that matched, and then also added one of her, I don't know if this is a white fox or if it's supposed to be like an ermine or a weasel type thing. I know here in Minnesota we do have, they're called ermines, or some people call them weasels. They're smaller than this. This one looks like almost like a white fox to me, but I'm not quite sure. And here was a couple elk tags that I went ahead and added to that envelope. So I tried to at least put 2 pieces of ephemera into each of the envelopes. And here's the next one with a little bird on it. And again, I added some trim at the bottom, and then I went ahead and added some flat back pearls on top of that. And then also another little cluster up here. And this little nice little piece of lace here up that I got was from my crafty friend Ivy Ling that I had. And I had used part of that piece earlier, but I still had this little piece right here. And I just thought that was kind of nice with the little beads on it. It matched nicely with the winter theme. So I went ahead and added that. And then on the back side again, I added a piece of lace and then also one of the cutouts from the digital collection. And again, some more ephemera. Here's a little fox tag that I made. And then here was a pocket or a journal card that I made. Oops, I'm throwing things around here. So here was the journal card that I made. Again, I just inked the edges, sewed around it. And then I added a postcard, one of the mini postcards inside of it. And then in Lorna's kit, she did have some like pockets already pre-made. So I did cut down one of those pockets to fit on the journal card, and the background piece was just a leftover part of one of the papers that I cut out for one of the envelopes, so they coordinated nicely. And then there's the sentiment on that one. I'll just hold it up, and if you want to read it you can. Just pause the video. And then also there was the little jar tag in there. And all I did on this one is I decided not to sew around this one, but I did add some Winka Stella, so it does kind of sparkle in person. And again, I don't know if that's going to show up very well on the camera or not. And then also this postcard. This one I did sew around and added Winka Stella to that one. And then the next envelope that I created looks like this. There's the front and the back. So again, on this one, I created another hidden paper clip. And so that's what it looks like on the front and the back. And then if you see, for those of you that maybe have never created them, the paper clip's kind of hidden in between the two layers. So it's kind of fun to hook on your pages, or in this case, I hooked them on to the envelopes. And it just, you know, gives a little bit of extra added interest. So on this one, I added some trim at the bottom with the little flat back gems in that blue color, and then I layered a couple here. And again, these do have some of the Wink Stella on it, I believe. And then on this envelope here, I decided to, again, I created a little pocket. I had a little leftover scrap, so I added a pocket to the envelope, added some trim at the bottom, dangle trim at the bottom that just reminded me of icicles. Added a little bit of a cluster snippet here with some leftover laces and trims from my stash. And then in the pocket I stuck 2 tags, and those are the tags that I created. And then when you flip it over, this one I added some trim on the back side. And then also another sentiment from her collection, and then another one of her oval pieces from the cutouts. And in this one, again, it looks like I stuck 3 items in there. So the little rabbit ephemera. This one was really nice too, with a rabbit and the trees. And then another one with the elk and the snow and the pine trees in the background. The artist that created this has kind of some nice watercolor images on these. And then here is the last envelope, and that's the front, and that's the back side of this one. So on the front side, you can see I created a pocket using lace, and that's what it looks like without the pieces inside of it. And in Lorna's kit, she did create some little mini file folders, and what I like to do with these is I like to make them into little books. And so you can see on this one I added the sentiment A Winter's Tale, and again that came from the bottom of one of her papers when I printed off digital papers. I think it was one that I fussy cut out some of the images. The name of the kit, which is A Winter's Tale, was on it, and so I just cut it down to fit on the little tab up there. And then, like I said, I like to add pages on the inside. And then on this one I had some of that Star Dream paper, which is shiny. It's really pretty paper, and I thought that would be kind of nice to use as pages in there. And you can still write on this in pen, this type of paper. And it does print off this. You can use print your digitals on this type of paper too. I just didn't have enough of it to print off the whole kit, so that's why I chose not to. But it's fun for little things like that. And then here was the tag that I created for inside that pocket. So I tried to decorate all the tags that were on the outside of the envelopes, but if they were on the inside of the envelopes, like I said, I just ended up just sewing around them and inking the edges. So on the back of this envelope, I edged it with some fun trim, another one of those little flower pieces that I had with the dangles. Again, that just reminded me of icicles. And then on this one, when you open it up, you can see I also created another pocket right here, little triangle or diagonal pocket, and I stuck one of the postcards in there with the cute owls on it. And then here you can see the little hint of the fox, and then I added another one of her circle embellishments and also some flat back gems and some more trim right there. So that's kind of fun. And then in the inside of this one, I stuck a couple of things. And then also on each side of the envelope, I tried to use like my paper scraps just to decorate it up a little bit. Like here, this was part of this paper when I cut out the envelope part, so you can kind of see the watercolor part kind of connect right there on that one. So on this one, here was one of the tags that I decorated up just using bits and pieces left over. And then I created another one of those journal cards with a pocket on it. And I stuck a little journal card inside of that journal card. And then also added a couple of the cutout pieces to both this journal card and the little pocket right there. And then here was the last little journal card that I created. And again, I think this one was just left over from one of the papers that I had used to cover one of these envelopes. This was left over and it was a perfect size to create a journal card out of. So I just sewed around it and inked the edges. Again, thank you everyone so much for watching. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.